Hi guys, welcome to this week's Alakazam news. I'm joined by my friend Mike. As you can see, it's Blue Shirt Day here at Alakazam, so everyone has to wear a blue shirt. Tomorrow's Pink Pants Day. Luckily, we're not filming tomorrow. So anyway, this week's Alakazam news, joined by Mike. Mike's going to be joining me now, hopefully on every edition and hopefully all the way through it, because everyone said that he was great last week and I was a bit boring by myself. So,
that's good then.
Not for me. So anyway, we're gonna kick off first. Obviously, we've picked the winners of the gift voucher competition, which we'll tell you at the end of this Alakazam news. Also, we're sort of dedicating this news to our new releases, our new December releases. So we're going to tell you a bit more about those and let you see some of the trailers. But before we get started, just want to mention a couple of things with items that have been coming in and items we got restock of. Firstly, Pure Smoke sold out within sort of 28 hours, our first batch. It was actually 24 hours. Well, I don't know why I said 28. So 24 hours. You've played with Pure Smoke as well. Yep. You've been messing about with it today.
Yep.
It is great.
It is great. It is super.
It's a brilliant bit of kit. It's just going to add a lot of magic to whatever you're doing, any sort of coin vanish. I've been messing about with it. I took one for myself out of the second batch. Took one for myself to do with Ring Flash.
Yep.
And I'm going to use it after I do the Pat Page vanish, just to sort of hold the hand there. The ring's gone. Right. I think it brings it full circle. It's gone in a puff of smoke, comes back in a flame and a puff of smoke. So I think that's pretty cool. Ring Flash have come back in, and also we've had a lot of people asking about this set of DVDs. I know Andy here in the shop is very excited that they've come in. I won't be letting him have one just yet until he makes me another tea. So that's the Utopia by Danny the Ortiz. Have you seen him before?
Have I seen him or seen the set?
Seen the set. Well, no. I know you haven't seen the set 'cause it's just come in.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've seen the clips on the YouTube.
And what do you think?
Superb.
Yeah,
superb. And this guy's performing at the Session Convention in January.
Yeah, that's always a great convention.
And it's worth going to that just to see this guy, I think.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Well, I'm going to take a set of these. Andy's going to take a set. No doubt Mike's going to take a set. So hopefully we'll have some left to sell you. So that's Utopia by Danny the Ortiz, and we're going to move on now and talk to you about our Christmas releases. Right, the first of our Christmas releases is the F1 Nitro. Now, you've used the F1 before.
The F1, yeah.
The F1, for those of you that don't know, the F1 is a palm stroke no palm card to wallet invented by Jason Ray. It's absolutely fantastic. It allows you to perform just a standard card to wallet, but with absolutely no sleight of hand at all.
Yeah.
The routine that I perform with the F1 all the time is my routine called Phantom Card, which is basically, it's a routine where you show a blue back card in your wallet before you start. You get a card selected from a red back deck, that card is signed, and then later on when you remove the blue back card from your wallet, it ends up being their sign card from the red back card.
Yep.
Now what we've done, I know you were having a look at the F1 Nitro today. What we've done is we've combined the F1 wallet with the Assassin wallet. So basically now you're getting a real workhorse of a performer's wallet. So for those of you that want to do mentalism, I tend to do mentalism a lot in social situations. I tend to do magic more when I'm out being paid to work. I do separate the two, and I don't do that much mentalism when I'm sort of booked to do a gig as such. But the F1 Nitro is now giving you the ability to do a card to wallet, palm or no palm, that's entirely down to you. It gives you the ability to peak, gives you the ability to have an index in there, and also an out to lunch. And there's some great routines, as you know. You used to do the stockholder, didn't you, with out to lunch routines? So all of those you can do with the F1 as well.
And the thing about the F1 is so quick. The load is extremely quick. It happens within a split second.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some really nice handling on the DVD. And I remember when I first put up, I mean, I'm not going to show you the demo here. Go to our website and look at the demos, because otherwise we're just going to show you something that's going to sort of get rid of a lot of time on our Alexam News. But go to the website. I'll put the address here. Go to the website, check out the demos, check out the F1 Nitro trailer plus the Phantom card. I've put a few different ones out on the website. Also, it does come with a DVD that's almost 2 hours long with different routines. There's over about 15 routines on there, all handling to it. But you're right, the load happens so quick. I remember when I first put my Phantom card trailer up, Spellman was on the phone straight away just saying that he had to watch it 3 or 4 times before he even realised what had happened. He knew, you know, because I had told him about the wallet before it was released, he knew what had to happen. But he said it's so quick and so smooth that you don't see it. There's no fumbling on top of the deck. And the way you actually handle the wallet, it never really appears that the wallets come in contact with the deck because it's so quick and you pull off at an angle.
You haven't got to fumble, get breaks and things like that.
No.
It just happens automatically.
Yeah, so if you know, if you're new to card to wallet, and bearing in mind card to wallet is a staple effect for working performers, it's something that does get a good reaction. As far as magic's concerned, if you can vanish an object and make it appear somewhere else, that to me is magic. When I used to watch Paul Daniels and David Nixon when I was a kid, it's all those things like the bill in lemon and things vanishing and appearing over here. That's magic to me, you know. And card in wallet is one of those effects that's been shrunk down for the walk around and you know, just working performer. And the beauty of the F1 is the fact that the wallet can be out there on the table before you actually start.
Yeah.
You know, so you get the card selected, signed. You don't have to do any sleight of hand at all, yet it can appear in the wallet. So that's the F1 Nitro. I will say we've got a limited number coming in before Christmas. We should have enough to cover any orders anyway, but there is a limited amount, purely because where the manufacturer is, there's a problem. It's coming up to Christmas. Obviously it's a big time for corporate gifts, so the magic market's a very small market when you're talking about, you know, corporate companies, giveaways and so forth. So we've only been able to get a limited number in, so check this out on the website, and that is the F1 Nitro. If you're after a wallet and you're a worker, and even if you're not a worker, you're a hobbyist, the F1 Nitro is going to give you everything you need. Okay, the other 2 Christmas releases are 2 effects from my good friend Andy Nyman. One of them is called Big Reaction, the other one is called Warlock. Andy popped in a few weeks ago and we had a little interview segment where I spoke to him about these 2 releases. So let's watch that now. Andy.
Peter.
Thank you for joining us here. You've popped into the shop today to film 2 of your latest releases, your latest effect.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a bit about them?
Yeah, there's 2 effects. One of them is called Big Reaction.
Yeah.
And Big Reaction is a trick that I've been using, I think, for about 20 years.
Right.
And it is a version of a brilliant old trick that was around for a while and has sort of been forgotten. And what I've done is taken that trick and twisted it a bit. It's quite an unusual trick because it works as a brilliant opener or a brilliant closer, and it sort of guarantees you a big reaction. That's why it's called Big Reaction. It guarantees clapping, cheering, or if you wanted, a standing ovation. So as a closer, it's fantastic, and like all my stuff, very, very simple to do.
Okay, and that can be used as a mentalism or sort
of mentalism or
magic.
More traditional magic or mental magic or close-up or parlour, if there is such a thing, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be used in absolutely any circumstance. You know, it's a really strong, versatile trick. Trade shows can be used for trade show. I mean, you name it, it can be done for.
Yeah, so you can adapt it to use
prison
it
shows, you can use them there.
Which I'll be using a lot when I'm inside.
Yes.
But the other thing is as well, you obviously said it's based on an old effect, but the old effect is an effect you have purchased the rights to. No, it's a brilliant old trick by Roy Johnson, who's a phenomenal magician, and something I'd used for years, but with this sort of twist I put on it, that was a twist that I was using myself, and I just thought, you know, it was something that I used a lot and wanted to market, so I bought the rights off Roy a couple of years ago. Yeah.
And so it's with his blessing and that I'm putting this out, and, you know,
And the twist you've put on it, even though Roy's version was fantastic, your twist on it does make perfect sense around the tables for the reasons you go into.
It really did for me. It transformed the trick.
Yeah.
And you'll see why, because I'll tell you what the old version was, which is fantastic. But this, there was something about it that just didn't. It took me about 5, 6, 7 years to work out. Actually, that doesn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
And is getting an odd reaction from the audience. There was something inherent with it that didn't quite work. So this, I've got rid of that. And the weird thing is, it's not getting rid of. None of the methodology has changed. It's just the language has changed, and that really transforms it.
Perfect. And the second effect was the effect.
Second effect is called Warlock.
Yeah, which you fooled me and my son Harry with this morning.
Again, I guess my sort of staple diet of tricks really is easy to do, maximum impact, and it is an effect that is a sort of direct mentalism word test.
Yeah.
And it uses 2 thought of words. You think of a word, you think of a word, you locate them both in the dictionary, and then there's a fantastic prediction, which then leads to a good giveaway for the person. So it's quite a special trick. Again, very easy, and something I've been thinking about for a while, and then I've been really busy, but then I had this day off where I thought I'm going to nail down this method now at long last. So I finally got round to it about 6 months ago, and then I've been playing with it since, and the reaction is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, for laymen, it's just, and also you're leaving them with such a strong thing that they get to keep. It just is, it's just really a powerful, easy trick. That's the great thing, Easy.
And it's one of those tricks that wouldn't look odd for you just to pull out your pocket while you're chatting to someone. It's not a packet of cards. It's not some weird prop. It's just something that when you bring them out and say, I've got an interest in
it's
words.
Just these little business cards that I like the idea that it makes you appear more interesting. It makes you appear, rather than saying, as you say, choose one of these, or I mean, it's a different way of going at things. So I hope people really like them and get a lot of use out of them.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Andy Nyman.
My pleasure.
Right, so that was the interview with my mate Andy. What we did was we split the effects. Mike took one, I took the other one, and we're going to tell you what we found now. So, Mike, big reaction. That's the one you chose to take.
Yeah,
I know
good title for the trick, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's you sent it to me in the post last week.
Yeah.
And I made it up, practiced it, went out and worked it on Saturday night. Just gone. It's obviously not going into too great a detail of what the whole effect is.
Yeah.
But it can be used as an opener or a closer. And I worked it 6 times on Saturday night. Twice I started as an opener. I got good reactions, but not as good as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
So then the last 4 times I used it as a closer. And it got the reactions I was expecting.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because you've been at the table for 5-10 minutes. They've got to know you. You've got to like you.
Yeah.
So when you come to do this effect as a closer, they're on your side, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that when you come to get that last big reaction at the very end of this routine, you get it, for me, as a closer more than an opener.
Yeah. Well,
But I know Andy uses it as an opener.
Yeah, and I think with Andy, because when I chatted to him, and as you would have seen on the interview, the fact was Andy was doing this effect years and years ago, but using another presentation.
Right.
And that was always his opening trick. And looking at that presentation, I can see why it was his opening trick.
Yeah.
But what he done was he changed it to the big reaction presentation, and he still used it as the opening. And I can understand he will get reactions from it. And I think, it's one of those things that if you go out and you work like any trick, the more you do it, the more you realise, okay, I've got to do this with it to really get reactions back. It's always, as soon as Andy showed it to me, I thought as a closer, exactly for the reasons you said, this will be perfect, because the fact is your audience already know you. Hopefully you've done a good job at the table anyway. It's a nice way to leave the table, and it's a good trick. And we all know that magicians play this trick when they're out and about, especially when there's other magicians saying, there's some other magicians over there, we've got a competition, see who can get the table to scream the loudest, and whatever lines they use. Now, this is getting you that sort of screaming, cheering reaction from a trick.
That's right.
So you're not having to fake it as such.
No, you're not actually asking them to cheer and clap just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
You're telling them that you're going to do an effect. If it goes wrong, then you're going to get one reaction from them. But hopefully, if it works,
you're going to get
a great reaction. And you know, it's a trick that you tell them at the end. This is my last trick. This is my last effect I'm going to do for you guys.
Yeah.
You know, so this is your chance to. If I get it wrong.
Yeah.
You know, without saying what the words are.
Yeah.
Then this is the reaction you're going to give me.
Yeah.
But if I get it right, this is what I want you to do for me. You know. And then when you ultimately get it right, it's a strong effect, and you get that reaction from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's a great trick, and it's in my case. It will be there now.
Yeah.
And I will use it as a closer. There's no doubt.
And it is, you know, a few points to remember. As with all of Andy Nyman's stuff, it's easy to do. Very well thought out, instant reset.
Yep.
The good thing about Andy's stuff is he does think it through, you know. And this with Big Reaction, I mean, how long did it take you to set it up? It's a one-time setup.
About half an hour.
Half an hour, so that's it. You're set, you're ready to go.
I'm a little bit anal when it comes to writing on cards, so I want to get it looking nice. So about half an hour, but if you did it quick, you could probably do it in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, but it's, as you say, it's a one-time setup. Set it up looking nice, and then you've got it for, you know, however long you want to use it for.
Yeah, and the great thing is, it's not like using a pack of bikes when you're out working. So it's not the type of deck that's going to get worn quickly.
No,
you know, if I'm out working, I'll use a pack or two of bikes every night, purely because I'm giving away cards and sticking them as ceilings and folding them and doing whatever else I'm doing to them. So by the end of the night, I'm left with like a little pack like this. Hello, Ruby. Right, this
Ruby wants some attention.
Yeah, this is my dog, by the way, and I haven't brought my dog here because other news channels are getting a dog. My wife has brought her in and left her here. My dog is not as good looking as some other dogs you might see on newses. Rube, stop. Right, so anyway, where were we?
So that was Big Reaction.
That was Big Reaction, yeah. So it's a very, very easy trick to do. Instant reset, which is always good for when you're working. It's a good trick in its own right, and it does get you a big reaction.
It does, and it's easy.
Yeah.
It's not difficult, you know. It's not. You haven't got to have a lot of memory work involved.
Yeah.
You know. So you can put so much into the presentation without having to worry about, you know, memorising things. And
so that's Big Reaction. Right, the second release by Andy Nyman for December is Warlock.
Yep.
You've watched it.
I have.
You haven't performed it.
I haven't performed it. No.
Not. But we did split them up. You were going to do Big Reaction.
Yep.
I've been messing about with Warlock. Warlock is right up my street for two reasons. Firstly, it's got the great Andy Nyman thinking behind it, and I do love Andy's stuff. I always find it to be very, very practical. Secondly, I think Warlock, for me, fits really well in that I've got something in my bag I want to show you for that sort of moment, rather than outperforming. I don't think I would work this table hopping. I don't think it's that type of effect for me. For me, I think it's one of those great effects to carry on you and perform.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It appears to be impromptu. The idea of Warlock is you've got a stack of cards with different words that you've written on there. Andy's presentation is about how words fascinate him. Whenever he hears a word he likes, he writes it down, and he carries this, you know, little stack with him, and he sort of memorises the words and trying to add new words to his vocabulary. So that's basically the premise to it. You then split the little stack in half, give one half to one spectator, one half to another. They both mix them up. They both choose one of the words sight unseen. Once again, they're mixed up into the pack. The pack's put away, and you read spectator number one's mind.
Yep.
And spectator number two, not only do you read their mind, but you also prove that you knew what word they were going to select beforehand with a really, really nice prediction. This effect, when Andy come in the shop and performed it to myself and Harry, and you'll see that on the actual DVD when you get the trick, that the prediction was written out to my son Harry. And I must admit, I just loved it. The first moment I saw it, I thought, yeah, I could use this. I think as with a lot of Nyman stuff, the mythology behind it is very, very simple. There's really no room for error with Andy's stuff. He thinks about everything.
Yeah.
And I love those moments with Andy where the great thing is he talks to you, and before you know it, you're in the middle of an effect without even realising it, and then he just whacks you with this big payoff, you know. Now I know you haven't worked the effect yet, but you've watched the DVD, so you understand the workings of it. You have made one up. So what are your thoughts on it?
Well, my thoughts are basically that what I like about it is there's two methods or two endings with the prediction. One is a giveaway where they can end up with the dictionary with their name already written in it and take it away with them. And dictionaries, as it says on the DVD, you can pick them up for £1 in the pound shop, so it's not going to cost them a lot of money. Or if you choose to do it over and over again, then you can obviously not have the person's name in there. You've still got the revelation of the prediction at the end. So that's down to personal choice. And I think a lot of it depends on where you're working as to which route you're going to go down. You know, if you're doing perhaps if you're doing a corporate job and you're doing the top table and you know the CEO's first name, you're going to do it that way, and you're going to let them have the dictionary to take away. But if you're going to do it perhaps in a restaurant setting, then you might want to just repeat the trick, and therefore you wouldn't have the name.
No, I totally agree. I mean, to me, this sort of effect is the perfect effect. If you were, I know a lot of magicians are doing this now, where if they're going to be booked for a wedding or a corporate event, they go to a sort of audition first. You know, they go and meet the couple, show them what they can do. This type of effect, I personally think, is perfect for that sort of scenario as well. So if you were meeting some potential bookers and you were to do this effect, not only does it seem like it's impromptu, so it doesn't seem magic proppy, but for two, having their name in the prediction is a really nice moment. You give it away, they've got it to remember you by. But if I was working, and I'm sure I say it on the DVD, I wouldn't use the name. I think the name is a great thing for the top table or when you need that booking. You know, but I still think I think Warlock is a great trick. If you're into mentalism, it does just look like mentalism. You know, they both pick a card with words and you read their mind and you've predicted, and the prediction is lovely, you know, as with all Andy's stuff, very well thought out, and it just packs a punch at the end, you know.
That's right, and as you said, there's nothing difficult, there's no memory work. It's all to do with the presentation, really. So, you know, it's very good. Well done, Andy, for coming up with them.
So that's our three new Christmas releases. We've got the F1 Nitro, we've got Big Reaction by Andy Nyman, and we've got Warlock by Andy Nyman. For more information on any of those, just visit the website www.alakazam.co.uk. Right, guys, we've come to the end of this week's Alakazam news. Still one thing to do. We've got to basically announce the winners to these two beauties, the £50 gift vouchers. What we did today, because obviously I know a lot of you as customers, so I really didn't want to choose who won. So my mate Mike done all the picking. The first one we picked
blame me if you didn't win.
Yeah, that's another reason I didn't pick it. Any complaints, go to Mike. So, right, the first one was from our YouTube channel. So, all the subscribers on our YouTube channel, Mike picked one of you at random. And even when he told me who it was, I genuinely have no idea who it is. So, who is it?
I'm assuming it's a username.
Yes.
Mr. Wee Frodo.
Mr. Wee Frodo. Right, to claim your prize, you have to email sales@alakazam with prize in the subject line and prove you are Mr. Wee Frodo. Okay? Once you've done that, this will be sent out to you. And from our Facebook page, we have
Mr. Dan Edwards.
Dan Edwards. Dan Edwards, once again, send us an email to sales@alakazam.co.uk with prize as the subject line. Prove you're Dan Edwards. Usually do that just by saying I'm Dan Edwards. And this will go out in the post to you. So that's 2 of those. So thank you so much for taking part in that. Are you about next week?
Should be, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So it looks like there'll be an Alakazam news next week as well. We've had a few people sending an email saying they want to have a look around Alakazam as well. So one week we'll do a little tour of
That'll take
Alakazam.
all of 20 minutes.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
I was being generous.
I know. Right, so we'll do a little tour in a few weeks' time of Alakazam Magic. Also, if there are any products that you want Mike or myself to look at and to tell you about on the Alakazam news, let us know. We're not here basically to rip items to shreds. We will tell you what we think are good items. So if you want us to review anything for you, then please let us know and we will certainly do it. And if you want Mike to actually go out and work something for you, once again let us know. He'll do it, and he'll see if it fits in with the criteria that we're all looking for as workers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think on next week's Alakazam news, Mike, you perform 2 effects, 2 Alakazam effects all the time. One of them is Killer Elite, one of them is Friend Book.
Yep.
They're both very, very similar in method, but you still choose to perform both.
I do.
So you're going to tell us why next week.
I will, indeed, yeah, absolutely. Look forward to that.
All right. So thank you so much for watching. Until next week, this is Peter Nardi. That's my mate Mike Davis, and we'll see you next week.